Hi, so I just wanted to give you kind of a rundown of things that have worked for our classroom, some different tools that I use that really has helped, and just how I run my kindergarten classroom, which could be any grade really, some tips on keeping the engagement. I meet with my students for 1 hour every morning, and then I'll have small groups after that. So in that 1 hour, I want to kind of talk about what I'm doing there. One thing that I say that really has helped is having some rules and your norms for your class. They are muted the whole time unless I ask them to unmute. I've used the icons by Kindergarten Smorgasbord. He gave these out. I don't know if they're still available. I've tried to find it to send to other people and I couldn't find it. But, you know, just finding some sort of cue to say, okay, you can turn your microphone on. Please, everyone take their microphone and turn it off. And also he sent this, and I blew up the images to create this. And we did this the first week. We went over this over and over again, just so they knew what I expected of them. And they've been great. I mean, they're kindergartners. They're 5 years old. So they can do this. I feel like any grade could do this as well. So I just broke it down and I'd show them the picture and I'd say, okay, we need to be sure you're here on time at 9 o'clock in the morning, act like you're in school, sit in one spot, not walking around, you know, because in the spring, this is what we see. So this was really helpful. Keeping yourself muted, because if they're not muted, their screen pops up on the other students and then they're not really getting what you're trying to teach. So it is very important that the students are staying muted while you're trying to teach, or you're losing your train of thought and the students they're done. So making sure that's probably one of the most important rules to have when you are doing your Zoom meetings or your Google Meets, which I don't do those, I do the Zoom. Turning your video on. Our district has said that they do not have to have their video on, but I've told my students, if you have that on, then I can, you know, I need to see especially with kindergarten, it's hard to understand sometimes what they're saying. If I can see their mouth, sometimes I can understand what they're saying. I can even read their lips when they forget to hit unmute. So video is important if I can have it on, is what I've told them. And then I don't have them use the raise their hand button on Zoom. I just have them raise their hand like this, and I can call on them that way as well. Listening, and whenever I talk about what listening looks like in a Zoom meeting where you're looking at the camera and I know that you're paying attention, you're not doing this, you're not doing this, you know, you're looking at the camera. And also we talked about, you know, we don't do this, I need to see a full view of your face. So just, you know, having that conversation with them too is important. And even if you've already started school, go back and go over these rules, because it'll make your meetings go so much better for you and for your students. This one's also important too. No eating during class, and also drinking unless necessary. I do give them a break in the middle of our Zoom session, about 5 minutes. I play either a song or I'll put something on YouTube, like a Jack Hartman or something, where we're moving, or a Go Noodle, so that they can move, but that's their time to go to the bathroom if they need to get up and go. So having rules set in place, using the mute and unmute has been huge for them too. You can probably find some sort of rules on Teachers Pay Teachers out there. It might be free. It was free with Kindergarten Smorgasbord, but I have not been able to find it after he sent it out. So hopefully you'll find something for that. But it's very important to do that. It's very helpful. Another thing that I do, and I've had parents call me and say they wish that other teachers would do this as well, is they're all muted, but I'll use my sticks and I'll say, okay, Alicia, unmute yourself, it's your turn. So then they're also learning to recognize their name, and then that gives them time to unmute. And so all their names are in my bucket. And so then I just lift it up and say, okay, Hudson, can you unmute? I'm gonna ask you this question. So sticks are good. I just keep them in a cup and I pull them when I need them. That's very helpful. Having a plan. So for each day I have a PowerPoint, and when you do your Zoom meetings, you need to see their faces. So I have one screen, so the screen I'm looking at right now, I will see a grid of all my students on there. That's my screen to see that. Then I have another computer, and I'll show you my setup in just a second. I have another computer that I am doing my AirPlay. And I AirPlay here. I don't share my screen here because I want to see my students' faces, unless I am doing a read aloud that needs to be, that I want bigger, because sometimes it's better that way. It can go either way. But I like Storyline Online. It's great if you've not used that one before. It's where actors tell a story. that we're covering. So I love using that one. And so sometimes I will do a share screen. Sometimes this will act goofy. You know, it's technology. Something's going to go wrong. So we just move on. And that's nice why I have two computers to have that. Okay, so let's talk about my presentation. So each day I have a plan. And I write it nice and neat in my computer, but I also just jot it down. Okay, first, let's talk about your mood. Let's do the morning message. We're going to write the word log and the sounds. We're going to do an alphabet song. We're talking about the vowels, rhyming. I'm going to tell the story. We're going to do a bubble chart on it. We're going to take a break, and then I get into math. So I kind of just jot it down, and I have it right beside me so I know where I'm going after each thing. Because you got to keep it moving, especially, I will say not just for kindergarten. I'm going to say for everybody, keep it moving because nobody likes that dead space time, okay? I'm going to show you this. I love this tool for virtual classrooms because then, especially when I'm doing songs, because I'll do, there's an alphabet song I do, and I have to click it on each letter. So each letter is coming up, and if I can do this here instead of doing this on each one, it sure is nice. So like I said, I do that. This goes me straight to YouTube so I can play my song. I try to keep that going. Okay, I want to show you this too. So like so this is PowerPoint. So like on this one, I was doing rhyming words and, oh yeah, I'll tell you about that in a minute, hold on. We're doing rhyming words. So I have animation in my PowerPoint too. Then I say cat, sat, do they rhyme? Yes or no? And so they give me the thumbs up or thumbs down. Movement is great for your students too. Have them do this. Have them stand up if it rhymes, sit down if it doesn't rhyme. Give them different actions to do to keep them moving and engaged during the lesson. And so I also put animation in my PowerPoints to kind of go back over it. Okay, well, let's look at it. Sat ends in, you can't see it too well, it kind of turned yellow. And see, this is on wheels, and this is what I was going to tell you. I have this on wheels and I do move it back and forth. I say, okay, let's move in closer and see what we have here. Sat ends in at, cat ends in at, they are the same. So we're going to hit that green button. It is a rhyming word. So putting in some different movement in your PowerPoint too would be helpful. Another thing that is good for your online learning, like I said, is on wheels. So I can scoot in. I can tilt this down to whatever I need to do. I have a little stool here, so then I can sit down and my head's not cut off. So I can sit down and do whatever I need to do there. I wanted to show you when I'm reading a book, we noticed this like on the first couple of lessons. When I'm reading a book, sometimes it's dark. So having good lighting, so I'm gonna turn on a light, so it can brighten up my pictures when I'm reading a book and so it doesn't get dark. So good lighting is also important. Now let me show you my setup real quick. I'm gonna go ahead and turn this light off so you can see. Where's my computer here? Okay, so here is my setup. I have, it's messy everywhere else in my room, but on I have a laptop stand that it swivels, so if I need it to go anywhere, I have that. I have my lighting, just a ring light there. And then I also have my document camera over here that I can just switch my TV to my document camera. And I have an Apple TV for that. I hope that helps. Oh, also, let me say one more thing. I also have my phone for like whenever I want to play a song or a song break, I can use my phone to just play that music as well. I hope that helps. Good luck on your virtual learning. Please get those rules and making sure you're calling everybody sure helps. So those are my tips. Have a great year and come back, subscribe and like. I try to put some new content up weekly. All right, bye.